What is your view on the role of angels and demons?
Hmm.
Interesting question.
It's a very interesting question, especially because Cameron mentioned before that, if that interview that we did keeps gaining viewers, we may actually surpass the number one video on his channel on Capturing Christianity. And that video happens to be that most popular video happens to be an interview with an exorcist who talked about the role of demons. And, I have to admit that angels and demons never quite got into my theology. When I became a Christian, I really had a hard time sort of accepting that. It sounded a little bit too much like polytheism to me. But after listening to that interview, and about the reality of demons, which of course are mentioned in many times in the Gospels, I started thinking, well, I don't know, maybe I have to think about this. So I don't have a set opinion on it. It's sort of in the realm of theology, which is over my head. Let's put it that way. I'm not, I tend not to think that demons are real, but that may not be true, and I could be corrected. In terms of angels, that's an interesting question because, you know, I, there are lots of definitions of angels. What's an angel, and who are they, and do they ever appear on Earth? And I would say that I've perhaps had some experiences where maybe I thought somebody might be an angel, but again, I really can't give a detailed answer to that. It's out of my league, out of my wheelhouse. I guess that's that's the
Yeah,
expression.
angels and demons. One thing that kind of keeps me like from fully embracing their reality as a Christian is that there's something in the cognitive science of religion called the hyperactive agency detection device, something like that, HAAD. And
Mm,
basically what that is that we are sort of programmed evolutionarily to intuit or infer that there's agency in places where there isn't agency, and that is that's one of the reasons why they suggest that religious belief is sort of ingrained in us, these cognitive
right,
scientists of religion.
right,
So if we take this hyperactive agency detection device and we apply that to angels and demons, then we can see that like sometimes we infer that there's agency in places where there actually isn't, and this was
right,
evolutionarily advantageous, as I mentioned.
right.
So that because we have these sort of false positives that can happen, that can occur, and so I'm a little bit skeptical. I want to make sure that I'm not going overboard. I'm not just acquiescing to this hyperactive agency detection device that's going on in my brain, and so I want to be sensitive to that. I don't want to just infer demons or angels or these sort of invisible spirits. I don't want to just go along with these intuitions that I might have. Now, that said, as you mentioned, that interview with Father Vincent, with Father what is I think it's
Lambert,
Vincent, but I can't remember his other name. Lampert, Vincent Lampert.
Lambert, right.
He I mean, that interview was quite compelling, and it does like at least raise some questions. It's like, how do you actually explain what was going on in these situations? And another thing that I really liked about what he was saying is that as exorcists, what they do is they submit like their patients that come to them, and they have thousands of requests every year for people who think that they're demon possessed, and they have like strict guidelines on
Right.
the sort of criteria that have to be met in order to qualify someone as demon possessed. And so what they do is they send most of these people or all of these people to have like a psychiatric evaluation to make sure that it's not some sort of psychological issue. And then only if the psychologist in question is like, yeah, there's like psychologically there's nothing wrong with them. There's something else going on here. Then only at that point do they then infer that there is some sort of like demonic presence that needs to be eradicated. And so I appreciate that they do that. And so, I mean, and if you just listen to the stories, then it does like create a very compelling, I mean, it's a very compelling account of of demons. And so it does at least open the possibility. And I mean, as a Christian, like I'm already open to it. The question is, are they real, you know? And so I'm completely open to the evidence. I'm just sort of not necessarily persuaded either way. But I would say I probably land on the side of, yeah, they're probably real. Yeah, there's probably something else going on, but I could be persuaded the other way. I feel like I went for a while, but do you have any thoughts on that before we move on to the next question?
No, I think I'm pretty much in agreement, except I probably lean a little bit more to the side of no, I don't think so. Skepticism, yeah.
Hello, Cameron here. Thanks for watching this little clip. If you want more, there's actually a whole interview this clip came from. Just click the link on the screen. Oh, and by the way, we post 2 to 3 new videos a week. So if you're interested in apologetics at all, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can catch our latest content. Oh, and then lastly, remember that Christianity is true.